Hello, hello. Happy Monday. Gonna give you guys a few minutes to join me here. I'm gonna go in and see if I'm live as well. I hope everyone had a fantabulous weekend. They go so darn quick, don't they? There. I am live on the other end. Okay. I see there are 3 of you here, and I see myself loud and clear on the other end. If you are joining me today, say hello. Let me know where you're joining me from. I am joining you from my lovely guest home on my property. We're in the middle of a windstorm here today, so if you hear some rumbling, you'll know what that is. Hello, Facebook user. Thank you for joining me today. Today's kind of a special workout, part 1 of part 2. At the age of 50, yes, 50, I'm going to be a bridesmaid this summer. I've been bridesmaids before, decades ago, and I'm going to be wearing pink, which isn't my normal color. So I'm going to be working not only on my tan, but my skin tone. So for me personally, I don't know what you do for toning and definition. I'm not looking to lose a whole lot of weight, but I'm very soft. So things like this, parts like this, when you're wearing certain bras, as you get older, guess what? Elasticity is not the same. And although I've got good muscle definition, see, there's soft skin. So the next 2 weeks are going to be 2 parts. Today, we're going to focus on the lower half of our body, working it out and toning it. Next week, same time, same place, I'm going to show you what I like to do for upper body toning. I'm going to bulk up a little bit. I want to get a little bit more definition of my biceps, my triceps, my chest, my back, my glutes, my thighs. Now, my dress is long, but my arms are out. It's summer, so that's always a big area of focus for me. If you are dealing with a situation like I am, where you're not looking to lose a whole lot of weight, so weight loss and toning to me are 2 different things. A lot of times you've got good muscle tone. It's just that there's coverage and there's soft spots where that definition isn't popping through. So food is a big part of it. I'm really trying to be a good girl and cut back on my carbs and my butter and my salty snacks. And hydration is very much key for a lot of the massage and some of the other stuff I'm going to be showing you. Just like if you're going for a massage at a therapy office, you want to make sure that you're not only staying hydrated regularly, but when you're moving lymph and tissue, you want to make sure that you're supporting that process. So today I'm working out on the mini waver. You don't need the fanciest plate on the planet. We're going to be working in manual mode, as I always do with my sessions. If you're not doing a lot of cardio right now and you want to tone, plus you want to drop some weight, adding some dynamic movement to your vibration plate is a great way to elevate heart rate, get the blood pumping. You would want to do more of that and look at the food piece, of course, if you're looking at weight. But a lot of the exercises I'm doing for today will be just as effective for weight loss. It's the same way I lost weight. I use a lot of these exercises now just to stay toned in those lower extremities. But I do notice as I've gotten older, the recovery, the time between my workouts, I kind of structure my exercise. Lower body, I'm doing a little bit every day, partly because I have sciatic issues and I like to keep my strength going. Upper body is more of an every other day thing when I'm in workout mode. So today you could use this as a simple morning routine. You can incorporate this with your existing routine, but we're going to be focusing on lower body. So what I want you to do is set your plate in manual mode on oscillating. I'm going to get going here with about a mid-speed range, and we're just going to do a little bit of a warm-up to start up. The more loose and limber you are in your core, the more you are going to have better range in some of the exercises we're going to be working through today. I want to make sure you guys can see me okay. I think I'm going to bring myself more to the middle. There. Okay. So for the first exercise, anytime, of course, you're standing on a plate, you want your knees slightly bent. The distance between your feet, if you're really wide or you're closer to the center, determines the intensity of the movement, regardless of what speed you are using. I always like a mid to a higher range because they are smoother. The slow speeds tend to be more choppy and wobbly. So if you're just starting out, combine a mid to high speed with a conservative foot placement. For the exercise I'm doing as a warm-up, we don't need to be more than hip width apart. It's all about being functional. And we're just going to start with some pelvic tilts. We're going to clench those glutes and push that bum forward. And then we're going to swing it back. You're going to feel a slight arch in that low back. I was doing a lot of gardening yesterday. The weather was nice, and I definitely overdid it in the lifting department, so I'm feeling this today. Other variations could be little circles. If you are tight in the hips or the low back, 30 seconds to a minute of this anytime that you're shaking is a good way to just get things ready prior to your workout. So my first squat, I've done this in other routines as a variation. I like combining things. So the more I can get done in one exercise without having to do more exercises, toning, strength, weight loss, it's all about getting muscle groups to fatigue. And the more challenging you can make your positions for your body type and your range of motion, the faster you're going to fatigue. By doing them on a vibration plate, you're going to fatigue even faster, exposing your joints to less time, less impact overall. So a vibration plate is just a good addition for anyone dealing with joint troubles. You just don't have the endurance, whether it's pain, cardio, whatever's holding you back. So the squat is a variation of the pelvic tilt. We're going to come down. I want good posture. You're only working within your range of motion. And on the way back up, I add that tilt again. So it's hitting the abs and the glutes. I like doing this with music, but without having any copyright issues today. Get yourself a good beat going. And I would love to see at least a minute. If you are dying within a minute, good for you. If you're not dying within a minute, add some weights or pick up the pace a little bit. Go a little bit deeper in your squats. If you're not fatiguing within a minute, you need to make your position itself more challenging. If I was doing everything at once today and I wanted to cheat and not do push-ups and things, I might add some weights and you could work your upper body at the same time. By adding mass to your body while you're doing your squats, you're also adding to the fatigue because you're making your body heavier. Okay, so we're going to run that off at about the minute mark. Another big area of focus for me is the glutes. I want some shape. I'm wearing a dress that's probably going to show how flat my butt has gotten over the course of the winter. It's small, but it's soft. So my favorite way to target the glutes specifically, and what I'm doing with this exercise is I'm lifting that lower part of the glute muscle. By doing a lunge, you're going to take just a conservative foot placement. The wider you are, the more shake. And I don't want you being destabilized. I want you focusing more on better technique. So just put this slightly off center. Your back foot is the control. So if you find that you have poor balance, widen up your back leg to give yourself a little bit of a wider stance on your lunge. So if you feel like you're doing this the whole time, widen up the back leg. Okay? So my back leg is about hip width apart. I'm going to bend and come up on the toe. And my goal is to get to a good 90-degree angle on this one. So this one's going to stay nice and straight, just like a table leg. We're going to come up, down to that 90-degree mark. You can feel that glute engage. And we're going to come up. Down, up, down. Again, if you're using weights, that's another really good way to just add some difficulty to this position. Of course, you've got two sides. I'd love to see 5, maybe 8 really good reps on this one, depending on your range of motion. And if you're coordinated and you can do it, well, the foot that's on the machine is the glute that you're going to feel firing. If you are coordinated and you know how to isolate your muscle groups, while you are coming up in your lunge, engage that glute. So let's try it on this side. We're going to come down and we're going to come up. And while I'm doing that, I'm clenching that glute muscle, not the leg, just the glute. And release when you come back down. Stand up, fire that glute, back down. Clench. Again, 5 to 8 reps per side. You've always got a good side and a bad side. You know, I think the bad side, I don't know, I think your body just knows what it's in for, but usually you have an imbalance in your strength on one side over the other. Again, 5 to 8 good reps. If you're finding it's too much of a stretch, what's comfortable for you is going to vary. And again, if you feel like this is what you're doing the whole time, take that back leg and widen up your stance, whatever side that is, okay? So that was a couple of rounds. The next thing I want to get into is some stuff specifically, again, still for the glutes and the hips. I want to get into some bridges. So a bridge, if you've never done a bridge before, it requires range of motion. So yes, you're going to have to get down on the ground. I'm going to bring, no, you can see me, okay? I'm going to sit your bum down on the ground in front of the plate. You're going to put your feet still about hip width apart on the machine. You can go wider if you feel comfortable. If you find that you're sliding off the machine with your feet, slow the speed down slightly. Your body's coming into the machine on an angle on this one. So if you're going too fast, you tend to slide more than have a good foot placement. So I'm still I'm at about 40 on this model. We're going to lay ourselves down, have about a 45 in the legs, and we're just going to lift, clenching those glutes. You want a nice straight line, and come back down. I don't want you hitting the ground. Again, you have some awesome tunes going in the background. So lifting to the beat of the music. If you've been doing bridges for a very, very long time, and you're blowing past a minute, try a single leg version. So bring your feet closer, and pretend like your knees are like tied together. Extend one leg out. And what this is going to do is it's going to put all the mass on the one side of your butt. So you're going to lift, up, down, up. You should fatigue much faster. Just a more challenging variation for those who are up for it. And of course, you'd want to do both sides. So again, keep those knees like they're pinned together and lift. Down, lift. Point those toes because it looks prettier. Okay? Now, if you're prone to sciatic issues, you have poor range of motion, that's a really good way to target that muscle, but make sure you do a little bit of a warm-up first. I don't want you having a cramp or something like that, okay? So on that one, you know, depending on how you're doing it, if you're just starting with both legs, again, about a minute, you should be feeling fatigue. If you're not feeling fatigued, you could go maybe as long as 2 minutes on that one, but try that single leg version if range of motion and strength allows. So the very last one I want to show you, and this shouldn't take you more than about 5 minutes if you're fatiguing within about a minute on each position. Oh, but I've talked for 10 minutes. I'm going to get this one going again. Just to add to the heart rate, we're going to do a little bit of a dynamic step up. We did this last week, but while you get up there, we're going to add the pelvic tilt. So we're going to add a step up motion, squat with the tilt, come back down. I just want to get the heart rate going a little bit more. So we're going to step up, down, tilt, back down. And just keep it going. Again, if you had some music, bum, 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 bum. Okay? This is my way of improving your balance without you realizing. Okay? For those of you that have trouble with stairs, stepping up and off of your machine is a really great way to make the stairs a lot easier, using those same groups of muscles. Again, if you're finding that you're not fatiguing within a minute or you're done at the end of this, add some weight, or what you could do, for those of you looking for a longer workout, again, keeping this one itself to about a minute, we're about 5 minutes total. You could do each of these exercises again. Just do a repeat. Instead of going longer and longer in your positions, do another loop, do another rep. Okay? So I'm going to move on to some massage here. I just want to check questions. See who's with me. Hello, hello. Awesome one-legger. Thank you. I'm huffing. Again, the better your technique, the quicker your time to fatigue. Okay, so the other area of concern I have, as I said, is lots of loose skin. So my areas of trouble, I have really bad varicose veins. So typically when summer comes, and I should be doing it year round, but I don't, I like to do my calves. On my massage, I like to use a higher end on the oscillating. And I just want to show you a couple of variations. So while you are sitting on the ground, your feet are just past, you don't want the heels on the machine, they'll just bounce all over. You get the meaty part of the calves on there. If you want to get a little bit deeper, and this is going to help with the upper body as a side benefit, if you will, lift your bum up off the ground and hold yourself up. You can lock your arms, it's totally fine. But this just gets a little bit more body weight into the equation. You'll feel it massages much, much deeper into those calves. You can come back down. You'll feel a difference. Another way that you can do that one if you don't have the upper body strength or you're dealing with issues is you can lay yourself down on the ground and lift your bum up. So just lift your bum up that way. It's kind of like a baby bridge like we just did. And then you can come back down. Okay? Do it. Lift it and hold for 5 to 6 seconds and then just take a break depending on you. Okay? It's just a really good way to get a little bit deeper into those meaty calf muscles. The other area is the back of my thighs, right up to the underside of my glutes. Of course, a hamstring massage looks like this. So with this one, because of my height, I kind of have to do my thighs and my butt in 2 rounds. I like having the controls in front of me so my bum is not sitting on them and pressing buttons. If you lean forward, you get a little bit deeper into this one. You can also just sit up, or you can sit back as another way to get into that. And, you know, just by shifting your feet, you're going to feel it get to different, by changing your feet, you're going to feel it more on the outer edges of the thighs, the inner, okay? So these are my 2 big areas of concern. And then, of course, while I'm already down here, the butt that I mentioned I want to improve, I do 1 more round seated directly on the machine. You'll notice when I sit very tall, you'll hear the vibration in my mouth coming out shaky. If you lean forward just slightly, perhaps you're sensitive to head vibrations or you've got some issues going on in the neck. A vibration plate is not harmful. It is not rattling your brain, but it does take some getting used to. So especially my ladies where we carry our stress and our tension in the neck and the shoulders, if you're finding this is uncomfortable for you, lean forward, or you can also lean back and versus having your head straight above the equation. So if your head's anywhere in the vicinity above the machine, you're going to get some head movement. So this is just a good way to get into it without the head shake, okay? For those of you that do have a concern higher, like perhaps you've got some tire issues going on, I don't have too many tires in the back, a little bit on the sides if I'm eating too much bread and junk. So you could lean up. You could use your Aeroflex step to hold yourself up, or you can use your forearms, and you can just get that lower back right on the machine if you wanted to do it that way as well, okay? I have done massage routines where I show you all the moves. Massage is great. You can use it for anything from tension to skin tone, but today we're talking about toning and definition. Toning is only going to come from doing the work. You can't just let the machine massage you and simply stand on it and expect to get stellar results long term. So that was the lower half. If, like I say, you did every exercise for about a minute and you're working with good technique, you should fatigue and be done a loop of that within about 5 minutes, depending on how much massage you do. If I do any massage, for sure, I always do the backs of my thighs because it is my trouble spot. And I got 1 little dimple in my butt cheek, so I always do those too. You can massage anywhere that range of motion allows, inner thighs, outer thighs, top of thighs. There's other sessions we've done on that. Range of motion, when you're getting down on the floor, it's never the getting down. It's the getting back up that sometimes can present a challenge. So just make sure you're working within your own parameters. If you're working on your squats and pushing your range of motion, that will improve quickly. So if range of motion is a problem, whether you're looking to tone or tighten, these are also good exercises for strength, bone density, boosting circulation, increasing stability. There's a lot of different reasons that everybody is driven to use these plates, and sometimes the amount of benefits almost seems overwhelming. But if you think of, what are all the benefits of exercise? We could go on for days. Again, a plate is simply an environment that makes those exercises easier, more effective, in less time, and with less effort on your part. So I have smudges on my glasses. I'm now going to come to the camera. I want to see if you guys have any of your own toning questions. And again, next week will be part 2 of this workout. I'm going to be working on upper body. I'm going to be doing a little bit of ab work. So today we worked on below the belt. Next week it's going to be from the belly button up, okay, including some massage as well. So who's still with me? Who's listening to me ramble? Okay. I have Facebook user and Facebook user. If you guys do have your own toning questions, or some of these exercises are new to you, or you think that they're a little too advanced and you're looking for an alternative, now's your time. It is Motivation Monday. So I'm not only here to motivate you, but I'm here to help answer your questions as well. Maybe you're not doing the whole routine. Maybe there's 1 or 2 exercises out of there. If you find with your results, you've had good results, but you're kind of plateauing, sometimes your body gets used to something if you're not changing it up. So I like to keep my routines and my exercises very simple. I mix up the settings from week to week, or maybe I add weights week to week, or sometimes I do a sauna after. So change something. So if your routine has become too routine and you're just maintaining at this point, you're not really seeing the results or progression forward, change up the settings at the very least. Or if you find you're just going longer and longer and longer in your sessions, maybe you need to make those positions themselves a little bit, evolve a bit, make them a little bit more challenging. Maybe you're a little deeper in your squats. It's not about going longer and longer and longer. Endurance has its place, but for toning and tightening the skin, you want to push yourself to fatigue on your exercise positions. And ideally on your machine, a minute or 2 should be all that you need. Will you be on the same time for next session? Yes, I'm saying 3 p.m. because that's my time. 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2 p.m. Pacific. I was a little bit earlier last month, but there's always notice sent out on these. And thank you for bringing that up. What I will remind you, if you want to catch next week's session or you're curious what's coming on, you can go into either the VIP page or the main page. Look under the events tab, and if there's something there of interest, you got 3 trainers here. There's all kinds of different videos, launches, but maybe there's something of interest that you wanted to see. Go in and interact with the event. Say attending or interested. No, it's going or interested, or make a comment. And then as the event comes closer, you'll get reminders. Debbie's going live at 3:00 today with her part 2 workout, or Roseanne's going live, or Amber's going live. So if there's something of interest to you, make sure you go into those events that Life Pro sets up and just interact with it, so you get reminders through Facebook, because sometimes Mondays are busy. That's just the way that it goes. So before I know it, I'm out here and I'm doing my thing, and the day's almost over. So if you're like me and you need a little help getting organized and staying on track, go into the events and just tag that you're attending or you're interested at the very least, and you'll get notifications that way. I don't know if anybody else is going to be a bridesmaid this summer. I am July 8th. I'm standing up for my lovely sister Lisa and her wonderful husband to be Dustin. Very excited, and I want to look my best and make her sparkle on her day. So join me next week for part 2 of Debbie's going to be a bridesmaid, where we focus on upper body toning, strength, and some ways to use your vibration plate to tone those troublesome spots, depending on what outfit you're wearing. Consistency is the key with all of this. So, it doesn't need to be a big workout all the time, but you do need to be having a relationship with your machine regularly, whether it's for fitness gains, whether you are using your machine for some self-care and some symptom relief. If things have improved or you've gotten the results you want, Don't stop. Stick with it, even for the feel-good aspect. Your body will thank you in the long run. So thank you very much for joining me today. If you are watching this on a recorded basis and you do have questions after the fact, never hesitate to tag at Debby with a Y, and I'll get back to you. Sometimes if the comments get going in a little bit of a flurry here, and you don't tag me or you spell Debby with an IE, I may get lost. Your comment may get lost in the thread. So please make sure if you've got something you'd like me to specifically answer, at Debby with a Y, if it's related to this session or other sessions, you guys can do that at any time. Thank you for joining me. Have a great start to your week. Enjoy your Monday. And I look forward to seeing you guys a week from today, 5 p.m. Eastern time for part 2 of Debby's Gonna Be a Bridesmaid. Thanks for joining me, guys. Have a great day.